On this program Insight, we look at the Nigerian nation, past and present, and we try to chart a way forward for this country. Since the program started on this network, we have looked at several issues, including the foundation on which this country is laid, the giant strides of our founding fathers, the derailment of democracy by the military adventurers in power, the years of the locust and the wilderness experience of this nation, and the emergence of the prodigal sons and daughters on the political scene in Nigeria. There is no gainsaying the fact that Nigeria is built on a faulty foundation and sustained by lies and shenanigans. We have also agreed on the fact that for this nation to remain one and indivisible, certain things must be done, one of which is restructuring. This time, restructuring seems to be gaining traction amongst all classes in Nigeria. And last week, we ended on the fact that the storm is gathering, and restructuring seems to be the only viable way out of the myriad of challenges that we are facing in this country today. Prior to the attainment of independence in 1960, Nigeria was made up of three regions: the Western region with headquarters in Ibadan, under the leadership of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the Eastern region with headquarters in Enugu under the leadership of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and the Northern Nigeria under the leadership of Sir Ahmadu Bello with headquarters in Kaduna. These three regions focused on developmental efforts in their areas with a view to improving the living standards of their people. In 1963, the Midwest region was carved out of the Western region, and the leadership rested on Sir Dennis Osadebe. The headquarters was in Benin. Within the Western region, it has not been a bed of roses. There was mutual suspicion amongst the component ethnic groups, so that the Ibadans felt that the Jeshas are taking over the business sector and part of the civil service. The Ijebus were dominant in the civil service, and in no time something that to give, so that each ethnic group can make the other breathe. The creation of states by the Babangida administration brought some relief when the Osun East Senatorial District of the old Oyo State was carved out to become Osun State. Thus, the fear of the dominance of the Ijeshas was removed. But another problem was created with the merger of the Ijebus and the Egbas and the Egbadus to form Ogun State. And so from the old Western region minus Edo, Delta and Lagos states, we now have Oyo, Osun, Ogun, Ekiti and Ondo states. As is being proposed by the Riba Group, each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country should become a region with a weak center. That is, Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, and Lagos states should become one region all over again. And herein lies the fears, the misgivings, and the apprehensions of some people, politicians particularly. Where will the headquarters of the Western or Odua region be? Will it be Ibadan? Will the Ekitis, Ijeshas, Ondos, Ijebus, Egbas, and others be reporting to Ibadan? Will they be comfortable coming to Ibadan? Is this fear real or imagined? If real, how can this be resolved? What is the thinking of the Ribat Group on this? And how can the fears be allayed? What makes the position of the Ribat Group different from a return to parliamentary democracy? That is the subject of discourse on the program Insight today. Anu.
Thank you so much, Femi. That's a thought-provoking introduction. I must say, we have our regular guest with us, the King Olabiola is here. Thank you so much for your time once again.
Good morning, Anu. Good morning, Nigerians.
And Mr. Laba Buguloko is here. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
The King, let's start with you. The Ribat Group is proposing that the Southwest should come together, the states in the Southwest should come together and form a united region. But those issues that we're running from at the national level will then not play out at the regional level. For instance, already the Southwesterners are asking, must everything ceded to the Southwest be taken by Ogun State? Is it only the Ijebus? Is it only the Igbas? Vice presidential slot in this republic went to, Ogun State. Again, the only president that this particular region has produced, maybe the first, from Ogun State again. So these are underlying factors. Can this be overcome in the proposed united region?
Yeah, well, thank you. I enjoy what you are saying. But essentially, we are Yorubas. I hope we agree with that. At least 80% of us agree that we are Yorubas. So we have something in common that is binding us. There will always be issues of resource allocations, power, and all those. It will always be there. The Rebirth Group is putting forward a, let me call it, special arrangement. One, the United Regions of Nigeria will be represented by equal number of people at the center. The Western region, or whatever name you choose to call it, we have the same number of representatives. In the Constitution of Western region, we've already put it there that this must reflect the sub-ethnic groups in the region. So the idea of either by virtue of your size, that's either land mass or population, dominating anybody does not arise and cannot arise. Because, one, the states that have been created are not strange. Even during his days, Awolowo was advocating rights of the minorities. So it's not going to be possible for Ibadan to think Egba is this, or for Egba to think Ijebu is this. But that dichotomy we must accept will always be there. But if you now give me the opportunity to aspire to be anything, you do not limit my economic aspirations, political aspirations, there will be less room. And because of the resource allocation formula that we are proposing, you'll be too busy in your district. We want to call our local government district. Again, when we started, during the days of Awolowo, what do you have? You have province, you have district, you have divisions. Okay? So, if it worked then, it can work now. You change it to call it state, to call it local government. Right? But we are saying it is essentially district. So, let's look at that. If the district is having 30% of whatever revenue is generated around that place, they already have their freedom.
Mr. Buguluko, let me come to you. So I'm going to use Ibadan as a case study. So, Oyo State, therein we have Ibadan as the state capital.
Oh, yes.
The people of Okeogun are still agitating today that, when will it be our turn? Ibadan will always ride on its numerical strength, saying Okeogun. The number is just there.
Yeah.
Won't things like that play out?
In a particular state or in the region in general?
In the region.
Of course it will, but our formula is this. The best analogy I can use is the Governors Forum. During the time we have Southwest Governors Forum, we have a progressive Governors Forum. During the time of Akeredolu, the headquarters of the Governors Forum was in Akure. So what we are proposing is this: where the head lies is going to be the headquarters, and we propose that the Premier's seat will be rotational. So if Oyo State governor, for example, is the premier. Of course, he's still supervising the state. The premiership something is not going to be his premier inter pares, as you call it, first among equals. So if Oyo State governor is the premier, maybe Osun State is the deputy premier, the headquarters is going to be in Oyo State. After he finishes his tenure, maybe 2 years, the seat may rotate to Lagos and the headquarters moves to Lagos. So there is no state that can lord it over anybody. And this thing will come from the grassroots. Like, we are proposing rebate commission. The rebate commission that we are proposing will have solved the problem from grassroots. All these bickering, this subethnic group fighting Ijebu with Egba and all the rest, those questions must have been solved from the grassroots during the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which we name Rebate Commission. So from the grassroots, each local government will determine where you want to belong to. You can have Egba local government. You have Ijebu local government. You have Remo local government. Those who want to be with, even some people from Ogun State may like to come to Oyo State, that we are more familiar, we are comfortable with people from Oyo State, from when you go to Odeda and those boundary towns. Yes. So these things, like Dickens said, is going to be determined from, I've always been referring to this on this program, that it was Paradesanya who said it publicly, that he was an Ijebu man first, before he's a Yoruba man, and before he's a Nigerian. So the Ijebus will be proud of their upbringing. The Ijebu is represented. You have your local government. You have your resources. So nobody is going to, nobody is going to use his population to lord it over anybody. That is the basis principle. Okay. No matter if Ibadan is 4 times, 5 times larger than other areas, you have to take your own portion, distribute it among yourselves. It will be, those who are minorities will be at an advantage in this case, because what belongs to the people with large population is equally the same thing with people with small population.
Dickon, let's look at it this way. This fear, real or imagined, whichever it is, let's now transpose it into what is presently. When you want to distribute revenue, sharing the revenue, you talk of landmass, you talk of population. Will this kind of thing not play out within the region?
I think I said earlier that the revenue formula that we are proposing, center we have 20%. The region we have 80%. Each region is free to distribute whichever way they want. But for us, we are looking at 3 tiers of government. You have the region, you have the province, and then you have the district. So instead of saying state, you want to call it province as it was before. Now, the local government, which we call district, we have 30% out of that 80. The province, which we call state now, we have 25%. The region, we have 25%.
20 goes to the center.
20 goes to the center. Now, the idea then is this. Development will start from the grassroots. You will be too busy looking for how to manage your local government and how to make it viable. That's why we call Western region, the new Western region, is an archipelago of glorious provinces, where development will be the centerpiece. And if you understand development economics, you will know that human development, is the center of development.
Man.
Right? So what that means is this. We are going to give critical attention to human development. And I dare say, we are not the only one thinking this. What's there in Japan? What do they have in Japan? They develop the mind of their people. What's there in Switzerland? They don't have any natural resources. The only resource they have is the human being. And now, if we now make the local government the center of development, one, it's going to be small enough and compact enough that I will know your mother, I will know your father, I know your children. And again, let me quickly say this. If you want to hold any position in the new Western region that we are proposing, you cannot have any of your children outside Western region. It's possible for my child to leave Ibadan and go and school in Ekiti, no problem. It's possible for an Ekiti child to go and school in Lagos, no problem, but you cannot cross to any other region. If you want to cross, but know that you are not entitled to anything in that place. So whatever you are, we are going to develop the education together. We are going to develop the health together. You are going to London for medical checkup. It's not allowed. The day you leave is the day you resign. It's automatic. It's in the constitution.
That sounds so fantastic. But let's look at an ongoing debate, Deacon. Just yesterday, it was said that it is too dangerous to empower the district, right? The local governments. Now, the argument is that we have 774 recognized local governments, and that fraud may be easily perpetrated and that at that level. And of course, the ability to trace what has been stolen, what will be stolen, may not just be there. Are you foreseeing a district or districts, as it were, where people will not bring in human nature?
Okay, I want to maybe agree with you if that's what you are postulating, that because everything is centralized now, there is no corruption, there is no fraud at the center.
Of course it is.
Okay, so what's your problem? Now, I've told you now that in the district, it's so compact. I know your father, I know your mother. Right? Let me give you an example of Singapore. Right? It's not just only the citizens, the leaders in Singapore. You cannot have account outside that place. I hope you know. And we are saying in Western region, I've told you now, your child cannot go to school in Enugu within the same Nigeria. You have to prove to me that there is no account that can take your money in Western region. I can have my account in Osogbo. It's no big deal.
Still within the region.
It's still within the region. It's no big deal. Everybody should be able to trace you. And immediately you are building that house that I cannot understand where you get it from. I'll be able to come and say, no, congratulations. You are now building Cocoa House. Can we understand how you got it?
Is this not utopian?
Oh, of course. Idealists build the world. I remember those days when we used to see cartoons, see this thing, flying elephants, flying cars, and whatever. But it's becoming reality, is it not?
Gradually.
Gradually. Is utopia. I'm not saying no. You have to start by having your future. You see it. I am not talking about what has never happened. Because of wristwatch gift, somebody was killed in Singapore.
Yes.
You didn't know that? There is no, they call them department, and in America, ministry. So they call their ministers secretary.
Secretaries of State.
Okay? There is no secretary in America that will come here and you will give shoe to. And will not report back home that when I got to Ibadan, Anu gave me shoe. Because if I trace it that I can't see how you bought this shoe, you run into trouble. So if you call it utopia to Nigerians, I say yes.
So last week on the program, Mr. Buguloko, I could remember Deacon and even yourself you kicked against the call for mental restructuring. The ones that we, bring this to life, the ones that will, operate this system, they are Nigerians. And whosoever, it sounds so good, but I'm just wondering, are the beautiful ones born already? The ones that we implement,
That implement all of these.
Are they around? Will they be taken elsewhere for training, or is the same people that will implement all of these?
Well,
Considering the laws,
if the laws and the constitution were drafted by people from the moon, or say military officers, people could kick and say this rules are too much. But the constitution is going to be written through due process. People will have contribution. There will be debate. People they will consider all these things. If all of us are agreed on certain things, how can somebody come now and say, why are you, these rules are too draconian? And it's going to be a collective responsibility. People with vision will draft, get the cooperation of the people, it will be discussed, and all of us will agree on it. And we are going to, people will elect those whom they think who can, bring these things into reality. Some of these things that are happening here now is because there is no, when people go against the law, there is no way of punishing them. So if you can go, I want to tell you that everywhere in the world, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is because over there, you cannot go scot-free. That is why those people are, giving themselves caution. But here you can go away with blue murder. So people can behave any way they like. If you carry people's money and you are able to hire SANS, and at the end of the day, they might say, out of 10 million, release 6 to the government and take the 4. So people are encouraged to do all these things. But when you have the rule, and we all agree this is the rule, and we put some people whom we know that they will be able to implement the rule. So because there is no deterrent, that's why people are going away with all this. Okay. It's not rocket science. Like people are saying that at the grassroots there will be embezzlement. Why are cooperative societies not collapsing? Why are these LAPO people? Why are they not collapsing? They lock some people in the toilet when you don't pay their money, and nobody is talking anything about, because they tell you before you get the loan that you don't joke with their money, and people are not complaining. So if the rule is there and there are some people to enforce the rule, so people will definitely people will cooperate.
Still talking about
this again. Let me chip in this. Wow. We spoiled this country. Mapade, merely looking at you, I guess you would have heard of the period when you can leave your yam on the street.
Of course, yes.
And you will meet your yam, you put some stones there. It's already known that this is 10 naira, this is whatever. They will put your money there, and nobody person will take it. I'm not talking of London, I'm not talking of America, I'm not talking of the moon. I'm talking of in Yoruba land here, where the concept of Omoluabi is the major thing. Let me give you, I think I've said this story before to some of you. Because of my background, I did not build on time. And because I'm a little bit whatever, I made up my mind the type of house I want to build. My parents were worried. Your mates are building. I said, no, I'm not ready. When I built my house, I wish my father is alive today to see even what I've built after. I took my father to the house. My father looked up, looked down, and said, Mbolotirowo. How many parents ask such questions today? And I have to explain to him, because he insisted. that I must explain where I got the money to build house. I'm not talking of an American. I'm talking of my own father. He's a Nigerian. He's a Yoruba man. Inherently, you cannot come out and tell the world that your father is a thief, even till today. Because we are not born like that. We inherited these things because there is no consequence for actions.
The Omoluabi ethos in
We lost the Omoluabi ethos. By the time somebody is asking me, my own father is asking me, that before he enters into this house, won't I caution myself? By the time they are telling me,
remember the child of whom you are.
Remember the child of whom you are. I ask my children, whatever will be your story, don't ever let anybody catch you with anything illegal or anything immoral. That is the Omoluabi ethos. I didn't coin the Omoluabi. I'm not even sure if my father coined it. They met it. That's Yoruba. We have our rules. We lost it. And we must find a way of going back. Yeah, it's going to take massive education. Right? In this country, there was a time that people kill. During the days of Idi Agbon, we never knew the brain behind what was happening then. You were saying Buhari, Idi Agbon era. But the second stanza showed us who was behind all those disciplinary actions. I'm sure you kill.
Of course, yes, we did.
And you dare not sell anything above control price during that period. Come on, we are not inherently corrupt.
Okay, Dickin. Still coming back to these fears, these misgivings, these apprehensions. The fear of ethnicity, even within the region. This one is, you knew what happened there.
This
between
one is
the Ijesha,
Ibadan.
the Ibadan.
The Remo,
Yes.
Ijebu.
How can we get
Ibadan.
out of this?
No.
Within the, do you think this can be taken off within the region?
I did a good study of Switzerland. I intentionally wanted to know how Switzerland became Switzerland. They have no natural resources.
No resources, no.
Nothing. And about 50 something or 60% of the population are Germans. Yet, they have equal right with the France people that are having 15%. Mm-hmm. Right? Why are they not fighting each other? Why is the population size of one ethnic group? Mm-hmm. Because I don't care what your tribe or ethnic group is. What you want is your own personal welfare. Somebody that will give you the opportunity to develop yourself to the extent that you can reach. If you give me that opportunity, why are people jackpying? Because they believe there are opportunities to excel somewhere else. If you give me that opportunity, I'm not really bothered if through your luck, your hard work, or whatever, you are able to build anything. But don't hold my hand while you are developing yourself. That's what is happening today. I won't forget to tell anybody when I have the opportunity. I perhaps won't be speaking here today if there had not been somebody called Awolowo. I have no background to go to school, but somebody gave me that opportunity. So if we have the opportunity, and I hope you know Awolowo is from Remo.
Yes.
I'm from Ibadan. So it's not because we are in any way related. What I enjoyed, people in Akure enjoyed it. Can you give these guys, these small boys, the opportunity to develop? That's what we are saying.
Mr. Bobuloko, so I was just thinking, at what point did we lose, fantastic presentation by DK. At what point did we lose all of these things? Now, he talked about the opportunities it was given. Mm-hmm. Some persons today are pretending to be given the same opportunity, but perhaps it's not counting. I will again go back to it. How did we lose it? How can we retrace it? Considering the fact that I think it's Larry Agoro that has the concept of no legislator wants to legislate himself out of relevance when you have that at the back of your mind. And in today's politics, there's what they call table manners. Everything is right until you step out.
You don't talk when
you don't
eating.
talk when you are eating. When you look at all of these things, how can we achieve this on the table?
Well, we've always been talking of consent to govern on this program.
Consent to govern.
All these people, it is because we gave them the power that they are able to use it. The people can take their power back. The process is gathering storm now. Somebody will just come and just whitewash your road. I don't know how to say palaro, and you'll be congratulating him. Esheo, thank you very much for doing this. So, what is he elected to do? People are just doling out money to the people. They've impoverished people, and they are just doling out money to them, and people will be congratulating them, which is the money which is ours. All these powers that they are using now, well, I wouldn't say the people gave them. They gave themselves because the constitution was not made by the people. But what we are talking about is this. When the people are ready to take back their power, to take back their right, incidentally, these people are not military men. They are not arresting you for saying the truth, but we refuse to say the truth. We take the bait from them. Each time there is election, they dole out money and you elect them, and they go to their enclave in Abuja, and that's all. You wait for another 4 years.
They've been impoverished, and so you lose your sense of
rationality. Okay, who is telling you to take your sense back, to take your... Can't we organize ourselves? Can't we say this is what we want? Can't these people... Some of these people are within us now. They are living with us. And you see, until when the people... The other time you were talking about ethnicity and all the rest. Yes. I want to chip in on that. You see, it is I think it is the Jews that have the highest number of time money will circulate within them before it gets out.
Yes.
These people are not fighting you. You can say they are clannish or whatever, but a Jewish people would like to invest with a Jew. So if in your local government, you want your money to go around within you before it gets out of your local government, and we are using the same model for the state, for the region, aren't we going to be the better for it? So all these things, it is when we start practicing them, it is when the people are ready. Okay, we started the conversation now, and we've been telling people, within yourself, start discussing this. Let us know your own formula. Ribat is now giving his own formula to the people. Let us discuss it. Whatever you see in the program that you think is not practicable, give us your own suggestion. Okay. And by that, all of us will have agreed on what we want to use as a template.
Femi, please, Dickie, I hope you won't be partitioning, because the Southwest that I'm seeing, I hope it's not such that will make the Southwest to be seen south the way Nigeria is seeing Togo or Benin Republic today.
I don't understand that.
Okay,
I mean,
so
the idea is this: do you realize that at least when I started this game, naturally because of the nature of my work, I don't think that maybe I've told you before, I grew up in the north, so I don't think there is any part of this country that I've not slept in. At least I've not stayed minimum a month. And I happen to know that there is no part of this country, even the natural endowment that you are talking about, that is not naturally endowed. It's humongous. The type of resources in every section of this country. So if I see you put your cap somehow, rather than being envious, what stopped me from? I just said it now. I won't allow you take your child
outside the region.
outside the region. That school that you saw in that place, I give you the opportunity. You can even homeschool yourself, your child.
Perhaps.
Even if you don't want to build that type of education, provide it for your child in your home. No, I'm not saying compulsorily you must go to a particular type of school. So if you see what is happening, by the time Awolowo started minimum wage, Awolowo started minimum wage first in this country. Southeast attempted it. Federal government attempted it. By the time they started free education, I don't want to be talking about that because I know in a particular region it died before it even took off.
Yes.
But the idea here is this: what I see you do. I've been talking about Switzerland. I've been talking about America. Many of us are talking about Japan. Because we saw what's happening there, we want to replicate it here. One, Lori Meji, they don't have two heads. God that created them created us. Whatever they can achieve, we can.
Okay, Dickie. From the last conversation that I held at the University of Ibadan, how far with the next step?
Oh, the next step is very simple. By God's grace, just like we agreed at that meeting,
Yes.
we are going around the country.
Yes.
We go to Kaduna. We go to Enugu. You are there. Even these regions on their own are saying, come to Enugu. Come to Kaduna. We need to discuss. Right? Inherently, one thing that I'm certain of is that what every human being needs is the same. You may call your own food tuwo, I call my own amala. Away, all you need is how to kill hunger. Is that okay? So we will now agree that in my region, this is what we want. And you do not come and disturb me. Because I'm not coming to disturb you. So we are going up north, we are going to the southeast to discuss this. When we gathered in Ibadan, Ogoni people were there, Ogoni youth was there, Southern Kaduna people were there, Fulani was represented, Hausa was represented. In fact, there are two groups of Igbos. One representing the national, another one representing the state. Right? And of course, I'm a Yoruba man. So if I am there, it means Yoruba is there.
Okay. It's time for you to join the discourse. The numbers to call 0916 104 7698, 0916 104 7698, 0902 2809 0902 2809 or 0811 052 6487, 0811 052 6487.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
I'm Olusegun Tawuleye.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from Yanacho this morning.
Welcome.
I want to appreciate every one of you that are there. And I want to thank God for having IBR, INSGHIT, and TRG. We are going somewhere. I want to take my, as per the question that was asked, whether there will be problem, there will not be problem as far as the capital and the is concerned. I don't think there will be problem. But why saying that, sir, I want to quickly quote Dickie, Mr. Bogologun, whether I'm right or I'm not right. He said, as per the distribution of the resources, I think he said 20 to the center, then 25 to the district, 30 to the province, and the 25 to the 25 to the
District.
To the district.
That 25, if I'm right, if I get him right, that 25 will be married that 25 to the region, yes. 20 to the center, 25 to the district, 30 to the province, and 25 to the region. If I'm getting right, sir, who will manage that 25 that's going to the region?
Okay.
Now, if we should have that 25, I think there should be representative from each province to manage that. I don't know if I'm getting
Okay,
I don't
Olusegun.
know who I think you have representative from each region, each province that will manage that 25.
Okay.
And have Odua being managed by some state in the western region.
Okay.
Sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
sir.
much
Yes, sir.
for your time. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I know I'm Omoride
Thank you.
and the three wise men in the house. Good morning. I am Primate Shitu from Ijebu.
Welcome.
We can have a request. And Omoride, the clips of our discourse from the foundation of Asset Group, Red Group till now, I am on my nail. Even I am double-leciously begging IBR to protect these clips for us. I foresee these clips being needed somewhere very soonest. We demanded for the clips of new masquerade. It could not be found. The village headmaster, dated by Red Reform, is lost. So I appeal that this one should be kept seriously and harmoniously so that when demand will start occurring soonest, we shall present it.
Okay.
Now, solutions to tribal sentiment on local government. I want to suggest to the rebel group that we should abolish state creation and take another form of state creation. That is, let us metamorphose local government into state. For instance, they cry for Awori state, Jebu state, Ibu state. That will die permanently. The moment we metamorphose local government to become state, the money that comes to local government is lesser, smaller. It will be enough to cater for our needs, and the local government center transform it to be state. That will be having more state and faster development. Finally, my demand. My father told me, sir, that every member of Awolowo's political party used to donate money, and that is why that party was so thick. When are we going to have membership card of the rebel group? When shall we start donating and take the load off Mr. Dikin Owolabi's head? He has sponsored this personally. And when will we take it off his head and start donating and having membership card? Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Primate Sheet, for your time on the program. So, the proposal of the rebuff group about the United Regions of Nigeria. Now, it's been broken down. What's your own take? Any addition, any subtraction? The rebuff group has made its own submission. What do you have to say? The numbers are there for you to call. So you want to respond to some of this? Let's start with you.
Essentially, what I would like to respond to is the governance structure at the regional level. My brother here was talking about Akeredolu being the chairman of the Governors Forum. What will happen is this: we will constitute regional governance council, which will include regional executive council. Regional executive council will be the state governors, what you call state governors today, right? And it's within them that they will elect one of them as premier.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there will be 9 departments, which is called ministries, right? Each of those governors will have their eye on each of these, right? Then there will be regional legislative council made up of speakers. So any law that pertains to the region is the speakers of the
And deputy.
and deputy, thank you, speakers and of the provinces that we gather to make that law. We gather to make the law, go and domesticate it in your
Please.
because we did it together. So that's the legislative council. For
Okay, let's take this call.
okay, for
Let's check who is here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I'm Stevie Odele calling from Okino, Uluwegbeda.
You're welcome.
Yes, I want to give thanks to our Baba for good proposal. But one thing I want to ask is about we need to look at what caused the demand for this new bat. Because I like that anything wrong should be reactivated. That's what I'm saying. But when you look at them, Baba Wolo and there, the way he governed at that time, he was marked as a premier. Number one is that on the top, we have other provincial level, district level. My question is that these people, these we are talking about, what is going to be their position? There, we are talking about homogeneity, that is, Nigeria, Yoruba is one entity, or like we compare it with others. But look at the way and manner you are talking about a different thing like a Ijebu and Co. Are we not going to have the same problem if cannot take it because they will be having ethnicity? Look at governor now. Governor failed to support the order that given to the exclusive power to the president. They do otherwise. They do not allow the local government to survive. That's my question. Please give me whatever you can do from my point. I want to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Stephen Oyedele, your question will be attended to. Some persons have tried to call in the other time when the king was giving his explanation. You can repeat the calls. The numbers are there. It's been called out 0916 104 7698, 0811 052 6487, 0902 280 92 and 57. Okay, let's check who is here. Hello, good morning.
My good people, God will provide for you and the resources that you use to uphold Nigeria. God will give you abundance. We really appreciate your efforts. It's what you are doing that is not tempting them in Abuja to draw us back to Nigeria. We hate it. We hate Nigeria, but you want United States of Nigeria, not the whole Nigeria that they hate that has no structure. God will help you and you will get to the peak of this mission in Jesus' name.
All right, Madam Deborah, thank you so much. Okay, so let's go back. Dickin, are you through with your thoughts on what the region will look like?
We are talking about the Regional Executive Council, yes, the Regional Legislative Council. There will be Regional Council of Elders.
What will be the role of those ones?
Regional Council of Elders will be from each province, the chairman of the Oba's Council, traditional rulers from each province. There will be 3 representatives of the religious bodies, and there will be 5 professionals. You are looking at the lawyers, the accountants, the security diplomats, people, the diplomats, right? They will be represented at the regional level. So we are now looking at the people themselves being part of governance. The traditional ruler is there, the professionals are there, right? The religious leaders are there. Okay? Now, their role is actually advisory. Okay? Every law that is made must have their input. Everything that you do. Meanwhile, the head will be the regional president. We used to have regional governor those days. I remember in my history days, it was Oni of Ife, Obaderemi. That was right.
And Fadansi later.
And Fadansi later. Right? So we are bringing that back to now have regional president. But that one will be one of the elders. So the governors, the present governors will come together to have among them the premier for the region. So we are not doing any election to all these positions.
Offices.
No. We are not doing any election to such positions. But there will be a secretariat to do whatever these things, to coordinate all these things.
Okay, Mr. Bugmuloko, you see, someone listening may think it's a child's play. Oh, TRG is living in Ethiopia. How will this come to be and all that? You want to address this. There is this concept of they play. Now it's become a street language now. I hope TRG is not, playing as it were. To someone who thinks this is just mere talk.
Thank you very much. If somebody could come from Port Harcourt just to come to Ibadan, is he coming there to play? As a matter of fact, those guys coming from that came from Port Harcourt, they had to sleep at Benin. They had problem on the way. We were monitoring them, and they had to charter another vehicle before they could get to Ibadan that day. And will you call that one play? And if you listen to what transpired during the discussion, you know, people were voicing out their concern.
Agitated.
They were agitated, they were voicing out their concern. And they are not sparing anybody. You see the battle between the Hausa and the Fulani and all that. And we are now telling you that the next port of call is going to be Kaduna. Will you call those ones play? And you can hear somebody saying now we should be printing membership card. So we are happy that Ribat is at least jeering people. People are now talking, and we are taking actions. We are not saying people should start protesting, but let us talk. We are not interested in that. Let us talk. Let us get our acts together. The people, it is because the people are there that we have our leaders. It is because we gave them the power that they are now using it. It is the people that have the power now. So this is no child play at all. And we are serious about it.
All right. It's just the best place to leave it for today. So many seats have been sown, just like Prime Minister Shitu said. But let me allay the fears of Prime Minister Shitu. I think this is directly being saved to the cloud, so it's not going to go the way of some of the clips that are being looked for today. As you have heard, it's a movement. Everyone is encouraged to join. The TRG has said it's not a child's play, it's on a mission. Let's call it a wrap on these notes this morning. Hi, I'm Anu Mori. This is appreciation to the Kenola Biola Dejo and, of course, Mr. Lado Aboguluko. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Apologies, we won't be able to pick calls. We just have to go at this time.
Anu, thank you very much for wrapping it up at that point. We are going somewhere. You just must stay tuned, as we say in broadcast language. We are going somewhere. And the train has left station. And you don't stand in front of a moving train. We are not saying it will crush you, but it's better you join, hop in, and be part of us as we go on this journey. We want to appreciate Dikino Olabiola Dejo and Mr. Laulu Abogloko again.
Thank you very
for
much.
coming onto the program this morning. We want to appreciate our backroom staff, Tope Olalude, Tunji Adeyefa, Oseni Sulaiman Gaji, and every other person there for doing a good job this morning. We'll see you next week, God willing, on another edition of the Insight as we move forward on the journey to a new Nigeria. A new Nigeria is actually possible, but it depends on you and me. My name is Adefemi Makwadero. We'll see you next week. Have a pleasant day.